Thank you for watching Honorable Women Inc., where we like to share because we do care. My name is Lakeisha. If you're new to this channel, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Today, I'm going to be having a story time. I'm going to be telling you all some of my life experiences that could possibly help you in your journey as you become a better you. For those who don't know, I created this channel to uplift and inspire you to be better than you've ever been. Okay, so with that being said, today my story time is going to be about molestation, trauma, and rape. Early on, I was molested. Many of you know who've been following me. Those of you who haven't may not know, but I was molested at the tender age of 5 years old. May even happen even earlier than 5, but what I can remember, it started at 5 years old. And I was molested multiple different times. And for years, I would never speak about it. And now, for those of you who know inside that you've been molested too, some may be ashamed to talk about it like I was, and some may be open about it. So if you're open about it and you want to share, definitely comment and leave your comment below if you can relate to my story. But yeah, so I was really afraid to talk about it. The person really took my power away from me, and I didn't understand how trauma could snatch your voice. So that's what quieted my voice. And I love Maya Angelou. If for those of you who don't know who Maya Angelou is, she is one of the greatest poets, R.I.P. Maya Angelou. But I feel like I could relate to Maya Angelou because her voice was also snatched at a tender, early age from being raped as a child. But with that being said, I could no longer speak up. I could speak, but I couldn't speak up. Before I was molested, I remember being extremely outspoken, extremely bright as you see me now. I've always talked too much. I've always did too much. I've always been really mystical. That's just my personality. I've always been fun-loving. And after the molestation happened, I started to change and I started to become someone else. And that was the beginning of me allowing others to walk on me. And if you want more about just letting people walk on you, I made a video. All you have to do is I'm going to put that video above so that you can make sure you check out the video, How to Love Yourself. So, yeah, so basically my self-esteem was disturbed. My confidence was disturbed. I didn't want to tell on a person. I felt like it was my fault for many, many years. In fact, I didn't even mention how I was molested for years until I became an adult. And even then, it was just really a quieted thing. And sometimes I just want to say that it's very important for you to either speak to the person that hurt you. Sometimes that's not always an available option. But if you can't talk to the person that actually did the physical abuse to you or the verbal abuse to you, then it's important to just write them a letter, get it out of you, talk about it, speak up so that they can no longer hurt you and no longer continue to destroy your life, because they really have a powerful, powerful grasp on you until you're able to break free from that hurt and that pain and also that shame, because I carry shame for a really, really long time as well. Okay, so with that being said, it started off with me, you know, running around, and I'm gonna use like fake names because I'm not trying to like put anyone out there and get sued or anything. But I used to run around after a person that I admired so much, I love so much, and I would run around after them. And I wanted to do everything they did because they was my favorite person in the world. And one day we were at a house, and we were at someone's house. And while we were at this house, this person, I'll just call them Person X. This Person X, which was my favorite person in the world, I looked up to. They were way older than me, at least 7 years. They asked me to get some ice cream. So me always having a healthy appetite, as I still do now, I went to get the ice cream. And when I went to get the ice cream with them, that's when they, I don't want to be too explicit because it is YouTube, but that's when they stole my innocence away from me. And I didn't know how to feel. As I said before, I blamed myself for many years. I could not move. I could not scream. And I don't know why, but you gotta remember, for those of you who've been molested or been raped, it really takes your power away. It's not that you don't want to scream. It's almost like you're in a state of shock and you're wondering why this is happening to you, okay? So I'm sitting there 5 years old and I'm wondering, why is my favorite person doing this to me? Why is this happening? And then I wasn't even familiar with those acts that were even being done to me because I was still a small child myself. So, and I know a lot of you could probably relate to that as well. And then I wanted to keep this secret for them, Person X, because I felt like, oh my goodness, am I going to be in trouble for this? Like, even though the person did these things to me, I don't want to be in any trouble for this. I just did not know how to handle that at 5. I just couldn't process it at 5. And for those of you who are teens who are adults who are watching that could possibly relate to that feeling, please let me know. But it was a very traumatizing thing. I went into some self-hatred as a result. I remember being 7 years old and being depressed at 7, just because of, the trauma that I had went through, and like, no one could figure out what was wrong with me and why was I having these negative emotions early on. So for those parents who are watching and, maybe there's some speculation about your child possibly being molested or possibly being raped. Maybe you have some curiosity. One thing to definitely look for is definitely a change in behavior. That's a huge thing. Like if you had a child that was often outspoken and now they're very quiet and timid, that's something to look at and that's something to look into. Or if you had a child that was, quiet and timid and now they're acting promiscuous, same thing. It's really something to look into. Don't just sweep it under the rug and be like, oh, ain't nothing wrong with them. They just fast, whatever. No, it could really be something going on, something that you need to look into. And one other thing that I found is a lot of these predators are people that we know well, okay? They're people who are the closest to us that violate us in these ways. But yeah, and then even, I talk about often, like even with me getting raped, being a victim of human sex trafficking, it was many of the same things where I just felt like my voice became more and more quieted, and also I began to shrink, and I would shrink smaller and smaller and smaller until I just didn't want to live anymore. And, I'm being as honest as I can. Like, I wish I could make this pretty, but the truth is I just did not want to live anymore because I couldn't understand why all these horrible things keep happening to me. And I know now what I didn't know then, which is, why all these horrible things kept happening to me? So that I could tell you, so that I could reach somebody. Not everybody will receive this message, but somebody who have went through trauma, who have went through molestation, who have went through rape, and they never told anyone. I want to let you know, you have to get that out. Even if you look in the mirror and just talk to yourself in the mirror, like, you know what? I'm not letting you control me anymore. I'm going to speak up. I'm not holding this in my heart any longer. You no longer have the power to hurt me. Because essentially, as long as you hold on to that pain, as long as you hold on to that anger, as long as you hold on, they still have power to control you. But the moment that you free yourself, the moment that you let it out, They don't have the same power to control you. And in previous videos, I also mentioned a lot about God. You know, for those of you who believe in a higher power, I definitely believe in God. I definitely believe in a higher power. And I just feel like God has really helped me through it all. Like, God has really sent people in my life. My pastor was a big one who have literally held my hand through this whole journey of just me being hurt by people, and just the trauma, and helped me to understand what it was that I was feeling, what it was I was going through. And for you, if you're watching, you're a teen, especially if you know that someone is hurting you, don't be afraid, you know, to tell your mother, or if you are afraid to tell your parent, there's always someone that God, and I deeply believe this in my heart. If I didn't believe it, I wouldn't say it, but there's always someone in around you that God will send to you to be that person that truly cares about you. It could be an auntie, it could be a neighbor, it could be your teacher. There's someone, and I encourage you to get the help you need to really speak up and speak out, and don't hold that in. And if you feel comfortable enough telling a parent, if you have a parent, then I definitely suggest that you tell a parent or tell a friend, but definitely get it out and get away. If you're still in that situation, definitely get out of that situation. And how do you get out the situation? It starts by telling someone who cares enough about you to help you to get out of the situation, to help you get away from that abuser, so that you can start to heal and feel better on the inside. I also want you to know it is not your fault. Like I said, I thought it was my fault for many, many years. It is not your fault, okay? Sure, this person, like, one thing that helped me to forgive this person for hurting me, and believe me, it was more, but to forgive these people for hurting me, is I put myself in the shoes of, and I know that this may sound weird to some, but it took a lot and a long time for me to really be able to forgive these people for hurting me. But I looked at it like this, you know, sometimes it's an ongoing cycle. Like, I don't know who may have molested or raped them. Or not only that, but, you know, maybe their life was just so messed up. Maybe they were so messed up mentally, where they just do what they do, and maybe they don't feel anything for anybody else. But it's not going to be my problem. It's no longer going to be my issue, because I'm breaking free from it. I'm not silenced about it at all. I'm speaking to the world about it. So you can see, as you can see, I'm not being silenced about it. And I definitely encourage you to follow my lead with this one and start to speak up. And don't be ashamed. Like, whenever someone hurts you, don't be ashamed to talk about the pain and talk about the trauma, because there definitely is healing. And if you don't want to talk about it on a public level, that's fine as well. For years, I was in counseling, so I'm definitely okay with counseling. I feel like, you know, get a therapist. Like, in the African American community, a lot of people don't really feel like, you know, we're not really into therapists. But I feel like therapy, is nothing wrong with therapy. Therapy is a very healthy thing, because it's a way for you to get those emotions out. And also, what I love about therapy is that your therapist is usually on your side. So that's a person that's on your side and there to help you feel better from the beginning. So it's totally okay to share with them, and feel free to share those things that are hurting you, because you matter. You matter. I want to look in the camera, say that again. You matter. What you feel matters. And your feelings and your thoughts are very valid, and they're very important to me. So you can even start with me. Like, if you want to shoot me an inbox, I have a nonprofit organization, Honorable Women, Inc. We help those who are victims of human sex trafficking, domestic violence. But if you want to just share, and someone is hurting you, and you want to reach out and say, hey, there's someone hurting me, I need help, I will definitely help you, okay, in every sense of the word. And I will help you in ways that you feel comfortable with me helping you. it won't be a distrustful thing. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you don't want to reach out to people because out of fear that they will maybe ruin your life even more, or maybe you'll be kept with the same person that is, you know, continuously hurting you. But I love you, and I hope that you really could relate to this story time. Just not letting anybody take my power anymore. And I want you to get to the same exact space where you just decided, you know what, I'm gonna live. I realized, what is it, 3 months from now? Because I'll be 35 April 26th. And I realized that it took me this long time to get to a place that I'm at now. Don't let that be you. Like, it took me way too long to start living. Like, you know, and I didn't know what that means, because a lot of times we feel like, okay, I'm living life. But actually, you are not living until you start truly living. And what I mean by that is truly doing those things that make you totally happy and secure as a person. If it's nothing but making you a cheese sandwich, if it's nothing but taking a walk, if it's nothing but starting that business that you wanted to start your whole life, if it's nothing but taking better care of yourself and just knowing that you matter, those are very important things that are considered to be things that would cause you to live as a person and as a human being. So that's what I mean when I say live. I want you to live your life and live it in the most healthiest way as you possibly can. I definitely believe in keeping God in the center and the forefront of my life. And the reason why is because that was the only one, and I say this often in my videos, that truly helps me to get out of any of these situations, to feel better about any of these situations. There were so many times when I thought that I would not make it past a certain point, but God stepped in and he changed the outcome. And here I am doing something I never dreamed that I'd be doing some years later. And that same thing can be for you as well. You don't have to hide behind a screen, or, you know, you don't have to be ashamed to tell your story, or you don't have to be ashamed to feel whatever you feel. Your feelings are valid, and I want you to know that. But until next time, because I can go on and on and on, and there's so many things I could talk about. Make sure you let me know if there's something that you want me to specifically talk about. Make sure you let me know. So many things I went through. Don't mind inboxing you whatsoever. Check me out on Instagram, Honorable Women Inc. Also, as you know, my YouTube channel, Honorable Women Inc. Facebook, Honorable Women Inc. Again, my name is Lakeisha. And as soon as you like my, or follow me on Instagram and Facebook, you know, I can go ahead and accept, and I even have a private Facebook page as well. But until we meet again, I love you, love you, love you. And what do we do at the end of these videos? I want to give you a big Care Bear hug. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We need your support so that we can spread the message to as many people as we can. You never know who needs to hear this. Love you, love you, love you, and see you later. Bye.